Hello, good day viewers. Welcome back to Shabes Online Tutorial. In today's tutorial, we're going to learn how to construct a confidence interval for mean. If you are new here, consider subscribing to my channel and also follow me on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram at Shabes Online Tutorial. So the question on the board reads, given the following sample weight of a certain animals, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. So these are the weight of a certain animals. And we are asked to construct 95% confidence interval for the sample mean. So this is confidence interval for mean. So let's get started. Solution. So the next thing we're going to do is to write the formula used to calculate the confident 95% confidence interval for the sample mean. And the formula is given as what? 95% confidence interval, which can be represented as CI, which is equal to mean, which is S bar. Then we have plus or minus C alpha over 2, then multiply by what? Standard deviation, which is represented as sigma, then over square root of n. So T alpha over 2, remember in our last class, we discussed that when you are constructing a confidence interval and a sample, which is represented by n, is greater than 30, then we use what the table called Z table. But when your n is less than 30, we are going to use what? T distribution table. So that's the reason why we're having T distribution table, then alpha level over 2. So because if you count this sample given 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 7 is less than 30. Recall when your sample is greater than 30, you use T table, but when the sample is less than 30, you use T distribution table. And this is standard deviation all over root of n. So from the question, S bar, which is mean, is not given from the question. We're going to look for S bar, and also T distribution table. We're going to read table to get that value. Also the standard deviation, which is represented as sigma, is also not given from the question, but our n, which is the sample, is given. We have 7 samples, so our n is equal to 7. Now the first thing we're going to do is to look for S bar, and S bar, which is also called the mean. The formula used to calculate S bar of this data is what? Summation of xi all over n, where each of these data is represented by s. So we're going to have what? 10 plus 11 plus 12 plus 13 plus 14 plus 15 plus 16. Everything divided by n, and n is the number of sample, which is 7, which is equal to what? So if you sum all these numbers together, it's going to give us what? 91. And 91 divided by 7, if you press calculator, 91 divided by 7 is going to give us a whole number, 13. So therefore, the S bar is equal to 13. Now the next thing we're going to look for is standard deviation. And the standard deviation, the formula is given as what? Square root of what? Summation of as s minus s bar square, then everything over n minus 1, all in the square root. So this is the formula we are going to use to calculate the standard deviation of this group data. So to substitute into this formula, we are going to have, remember, S bar, this is the mean we just calculated to be 13, and X is each of the sample, then N is the total number of the sample. Now it's very easy for us to substitute into this formula. So we're going to have what? Square root of first one is x, and the x is what? 10. So we're going to have a 10 minus s bar, which is mean, minus 13 square, then plus what? Plus the second x, which is 11. 11 minus 13 square, then plus what? 12 minus 13 square, then plus 13 minus 13 square, then plus the next one, which is 14. We have 14 minus 13 square, then plus what? 15 minus 13 square, then plus the last one, which is 16 minus 13 square, all divided by n minus 1. And n is 7, so we are going to have a 7 minus 1. So the next thing we're going to do is to simplify. So we're going to have what is going to be equal to what? You open square root. So in this place, we are going to have a 10 minus 13 is going to give us 3. Then 3 square is going to 10 minus 13 is minus 3. Then minus 3 square is positive. Recall, when you have any negative number raised to the power of even number, the result is always positive number, because you may press calculator minus 3 square, calculator may give you minus 9, but recall the result is always positive. So I'm going to have a minus 3 square is going to be 9, then plus 11 minus 12 is going to give us minus 2. The minus 2 square is going to be 4. Then plus what? 12 minus 13, which is 1. Then 1 square is the same as 1. Then plus the next one, 13 minus 13 is 0. Then 0 square, there's nothing there. Then plus 14 minus 13 is also 1. Then 1 square, it will give us 1. Also 15 minus 13 is 2. Then 2 square, it will give us plus 4. Plus 4. Then plus 16 minus 13 is going to be 3. Then 3 square is going to give us what? It's going to give us 9. So everything divided by what? 7 minus 1, which is equal to 6. So the next thing we're going to do is to sum up all this number together. So if you sum up all together, it's going to give us what? 9 plus 4 plus 1 plus 1 plus 4 plus 9 is going to give us what? Square root of 28 over 6, which is equal to what? 28 divided by 6 is going to give us what? Square root of 4.667 approximately. Then which is equal to, if you take the square root of 4.667, is going to give us a 2.16. So the sigma, which is also called the standard deviation, is 2.16. So if you look at this question, the data from the question, the standard deviation we have found to be 2.16, and the S bar, which is 13. Then T distribution table at 95% confidence interval, we're going to read the value from the table. So now it's very easy. We can substitute to the formula. So we can substitute to this formula. So we are going to have what? 95% confidence interval Ti, which is equal to what? X bar. And X bar we find to be 13. We need to have 13 plus or minus T alpha over 2. So if you are reading table, this formula will guide you Tn minus 1, where n from the question is 7. This is the number of sample. We have 7 samples. So we are going to have a T7 minus 1, which is the same as T subtract 6. So in the table, so this is T distribution table, 95% confidence interval under 6, because we take away 1 from n. So we're going to have what under 6 is 2.447. So alpha level is 2.447. So multiply by what? Multiply by the standard deviation, which we find to be 2.16, then all over square root of n, and n from the question is equal to 7. So 95% confidence interval will be equal to 13 plus or minus 2.447, then multiply by, so 2.16 over square root of 7. So if you press calculator, press square root of 7, then your answer, you keep your answer, then 2.16 divided by your answer is going to give you what? It's going to give us 0.8164. 0.8164. So that if you multiply them, 3 plus or minus 2.447 multiplied by 0.8164 is going to give us what? 1.998. 1.998. Then I always tell you that the first, you are going to take the negative part before the positive. Then 13 minus 1.998 is going to give us what? 11.002. 11.002. Then the next one is the positive side. 13 plus 1.998 is going to give us what? 14.998. 14.998. So this is the 95% confidence interval of this sample mean of the sample, a 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. So these are the weight of a certain animal. Thanks for watching, and please don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Also follow me on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram at Shabes Online Tutorial. Thanks.